United States. Now, this all according to President Trump, as he shared on Truth Social. He was in a lengthy post explaining how he had made a deal with China. In fact, he thought of it as a way to save the, quote, civil unrest from happening within the country. But also going on to say this and really end it with this point. Quote, because of this deal, everything quickly stabilized and China got back to business as usual. Everybody was happy. That's the good news. The bad news is that China, perhaps not surprisingly to some, has totally violated its agreement with the U.S. So much for being Mr. Nice Guy. With that, let's welcome in Thomas Savage, a research fellow, the American Institute for Economic Research. Tim Phillips is here, Director of Government Affairs and Global Strategies at Nestpoint. Welcome to you both. Thomas, no more Mr. Nice Guy. That's a bit concerning here from President Trump. What's going on with this China deal?
Well, it's certainly a worrying development, and that increases a lot of, the key word around a lot of these tariff deals, whether it be China or other nations, is that uncertainty. And, markets generally, they work with information. So, of course, it's unfortunately no surprise that things are looking to be in the red as the market's opening, because that's increasing uncertainty. If we can't count on China honoring its commitments, it's going to make it difficult to pivot in the next weeks, months, or even over the next year.
Tim, you think about all the items that are made in China, even those small businesses in America who sell some of these goods might have been relieved when they initially saw that deal go through. Now there is, as Thomas was pointing out, so much uncertainty. Can this deal be saved, do you think? I mean, is it going to take a Trump-Xi Jinping meeting to make it happen?
I do think it can be saved. The president was so right to reset with China. They've stolen intellectual property for years. They haven't opened their markets to us despite our opening our markets to them. So the president's doing the right thing. There's going to be some bumpiness involved in that, no question. But I do think this can be saved. Secretary Besset had good meetings with the Chinese to get the outlines of this deal done just a couple of weeks ago. We also have some uncertainty with these court decisions that are rolling around about the President Trump's ability to set these tariff levels. We need certainty there from the Supreme Court. We're going to have that court step in and make a final call on the extent of the president's power here. But I do think the president's on the right track with regard to China. He had to confront them. He had to reset this situation.
Yeah, good point. And also that 90-day pause timeline is quickly approaching. We're almost there. Yeah. So we're going to wait and see. And really, what's going to happen with the courts? Great point.
Right.
Let's focus in on Bitcoin, right? That's always interesting. A major conference out in Las Vegas just wrapped up. We heard from the president's son, Eric Trump, talking about the support that he's really seen for cryptocurrencies. Here's part of what was said.
All of us travel all over the world. Don and I travel hundreds of thousands of miles a year. I'm telling you right now, everybody in the world wants Bitcoin. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're, royal families. I don't care if you're the biggest, financial institutions. Everybody wants Bitcoin. Everybody is buying Bitcoin. If you go back 12 months, there were probably less than 100 companies that were treasuring Bitcoin that really had any. And now every single day, it's another sovereign wealth fund. Look what GameStop just did. Look what Truth Social did. Every single day, people are allocating billions and billions of dollars to it.
Those are some, major companies there, Thomas. It also does make you think, what's the average American supposed to do when it comes to this cryptocurrency? But the fact that you've got the Trumps really showing a strong presence at this conference, what should we take away from that?
Well, hopefully that means an increase in crypto entrepreneurship. And really what that space needs is reducing regulations, reducing uncertainty from regulations, because those regulations can feel like an axe over somebody's head. So reducing that uncertainty, and in the same respect, reducing the uncertainty in the tax code, clarifying how Bitcoin is going to be treated by the IRS, because that's been another source of uncertainty over previous administrations and in the past decade. So the best thing to do there is reducing uncertainty, whether it's in the tax space or in the regulatory space.
Or the tariff space, right? I mean, it's everything, right? We just want answers.
That's it.
We want answers, although I will say this administration has been very transparent in its attempts to get answers, which I, as someone who works in media, am so grateful for. Thomas Savage, Tim Phillips, thanks so much for spending some time with us on your Friday. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, Bobby Eberle's here with me in studio, chairman of the Fort Bend County, Texas Republican Party, host